Well, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm John Mayer.
And I'm Lily Taylor. John, fall is just my favorite because we start off, nice and crispy, nice and fall, have some warm cup of coffee, but then by the afternoon, it's rather beautiful. Briana and I took a walk with our pups yesterday and the sun was shining. Gotta love it.
And that's the thing. The sunshine makes such a big difference. Whenever we talk temperatures, those are temperatures in the shade. If you're in direct sunlight, it feels like a bit of a different story. And I mean, to imagine that we're going to use the word toasty when we've got a frost advisory, clearly things are going to change.
Yeah, and even despite feeling a little bit toasty, those temperatures really don't manage to climb up into some significantly warmer conditions across the board. And you mentioned that frost advisory. That's as we keep the cloud coverage well out of the area during the late night and early morning hours, and quite frankly throughout the entire day, making room for those cooler temperatures to settle on into the area, hence that frost advisory throughout this morning yet again. We saw this yesterday, so definitely want to make sure that you are maybe giving yourself a little extra time to warm up the car during the morning. But as far as just how much cooler are we, or what those temperatures are really looking like, well, let's just say we are 1 degree shy of freezing territory for areas like Corvallis. So as we head into the next couple of days, where we could see the continuous possibility of these low 30s working their way into the forecast, but gonna keep it clear. There's your little spoiler for that full forecast. We're not really seeing the chance of wet weather to make a return just yet, which means you definitely want to take care of any sensitive vegetation. If you have some in your backyard, or maybe if you have a balcony, whatever it may be, definitely want to take that into consideration over the next couple of days as those frosty conditions could continue. Out the door, but here's what I mean. Sunnier skies into the remainder of your morning, afternoon, and evening hours, and not managing to break past the 60s just yet, of course. So we'll continue to track out that up and down coming up.
LSB Live is sponsored by Alpha Towing and Recovery.
All right, we'll look forward to the rest of that forecast coming up. Thanks for that, Briana. Of course, our live shot buddy, though, is out there checking out how things are shaping up for us. Over at the Eugene Airport, we're so far so good. All of those departing flights here this morning appear to be on time so far. So not going to run into any delays out there, posing any trouble. And hey, there's one of those planes trying to back out of the gate right now. Meanwhile, our roadways also looking pretty good. Trip check not showing any major issues. There were a couple of early morning accidents, but those do appear to be cleared out. Nothing that'll really slow us down out on that morning commute. But of course, our live shot buddy will be keeping track of how everything develops throughout the rest of this morning. Be sure to bring you any updates as soon as they come in.
Nearly a week after the Eugene City Council voted to put a pause on the use of flock cameras, the Eugene City Manager gave the green light to officially turn them off. Flock cameras are automated license plate reading cameras used by police departments as a tool for locating suspects. During Monday night City Council meeting, City Manager Sarah Medary says she has decided to move forward with officially turning the cameras off for now. She says she is working alongside Police Chief Chris Skinner, and there will be ongoing conversations surrounding the technology.
We're looking for a time we can have a work session as soon as possible, maybe in early November. But until that time, I have worked with Chris Skinner, our chief, on pausing the license plate readers until we can at least finalize contract language changes and have that work session with you. So I would expect in the next 24 hours that those cameras have been disabled. I know that'll be too much for some and too little for many, and I look forward to just hearing people's comments on that. I am listening to you.
Again, that meeting was held on Monday, so as of right now, those cameras are disabled. Meanwhile, in Springfield, police are still working to meet grant deadlines, and their police department says the cameras are not officially activated. We've been covering the topic of flock cameras since the beginning. Visit our digital platforms to see our previous reports.
Well, a developing story here this morning is more than 100 former workers at a Dillard plywood mill now out on picket lines. This after receiving a phone call telling them they're out of a job, weeks after the mill's parent company said it was leaving the business. Now, the workers were all part of Dillard Plywood, owned by Roseburg Forest Products. They announced September 25th that they're exiting the business altogether due to an overwhelming share of the modern plywood market supply coming in from overseas. The employees, some of whom say they've been with the company for close to 40 years, were furloughed in late September, then laid off 2 weeks later. One employee we spoke with during Monday's demonstration outside of the mill saying at first she was in shock, but then it all sank in.
And then I was like, well, I don't have a job. I'm going into Thanksgiving with no job. I'm going into Christmas with no job. How am I going to pay my bills? I got rent due. So then panic struck, and it was like, well, what am I going to do now? I'm a one-income family, so that's where I'm at with that. Then again, I am almost 50 years old looking for a job, and that's scary. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Now, the union asking the company to go beyond the standard 60 days of pay severance package, saying instead the workers should get 1 week for each and every year that they've been employed at the mill. We did reach out to Roseburg Forest Products for comment on the demonstration and the union's demands, but have not yet heard back.
Oregon's wildfire season may be in the rearview mirror, but the Coos Forest Protective Association is warning the public not to let its guard down and to continue to take fire risks seriously. The season typically runs from June to October, and the CFPA says it dealt with 47 fires this year, affecting 425 total acres. Both of those figures are lower than the 10-year average in the state, and although burning restrictions have been lifted, CFPA says the public should remain vigilant.
But we still want them to make sure that they take in consideration the forecasted weather and the weather that we have now, and make sure that they burn accordingly. Make sure that they watch those drying trends. Make sure that they burn safely. Make sure that they have the tools and the water and the communications if they need help to get help out there.
CFPA is now focusing its efforts on training for next year and lending a hand to other agencies who assist with fires across the state.